First of all, I just want to say thank you for the two of you being here and giving up your time to commit to this committee. So the purpose of this is going to be to talk about and look at student achievement at Cosgrove Middle School. So how are our students performing, and what does that mean for our school, and how can we use this data to help teachers and administrators in a way that's meaningful, and that will help our students in a better way. So thank you, I really appreciate it, especially on a day like today. I just want to get out of here, so thank you for being here. So for this meeting, it shouldn't take no more than a half hour, probably about 20 to 30 minutes. For this, if one of us could be the timekeeper, so just kind of, keep me on track, because I'll facilitate, if that's okay. And then, Katie, would you be the recorder? So just take some notes as we go through. The purpose of this first thing that we're going to do is to take a look at what data we're going to be analyzing a little bit further, and really to delve into what we would predict to see as teachers, as educators, with different levels of experience, what we would predict to see from this data. So we're going to just have a conversation about that. So I'm going to show you the data that you're going to be seeing, and we're going to make a prediction about that. So this will be filled in on a later slide. You're going to have data filled in for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a cumulative. This is all the averages of students. So, for example, every student in 6th grade, their quarter 1 average will be here, their quarter 2 average will be here, and so on and so forth.
All their classes combined.
You got it. Yep. So, exactly. So all of their averages of the classes. Same with 7th and 8th, and then the cumulative is here. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. And then over here, and if you have questions, feel free to ask me. 80% are below in accelerated. So if a student is in an accelerated class, in 6th grade, there's a few less of those accelerated classes. If they have an 80% or below, thanks, and they are basically being watched to make sure that they don't get below that threshold to move into a different class or to get kicked out of accelerated, those students are here, and we only have quarter 1, 2, and 3 data for that. Okay, so based off of that, I want you to take a minute and write a prediction that you think you will see from this data, just based on just what you see up there. Like, what would you think would be something that you would see? Like maybe as we move through the quarters in 6th grade, students' averages decrease, or from 6th to 8th, overall averages decrease from quarter to quarter, something like that. Yeah, that's great.
I wrote down 2 things. One was that I think that there's going to be a dramatic difference between grade 6 and grade 8, like cumulative, just overall. So like the average for 6, only because the kids are going from elementary schools to the middle school, even though 6th grade is elementary, they're going to a new building. So I think that would be significantly different than the 8th grade, because 8th grade they're also about to transition again. I feel like 7th grade would definitely be in between them, just because you have fewer transitions, and it just seems like it's less extreme of a year. My other one was that the quarter 1 averages are either lowest or highest based on you have new teachers and a new grading policy, new systems, but then it could be easier because of management and typically easier grading policies, I would say, but then it could also be harder because you're going from 6th grade to 7th grade. There's more difficult assignments for 7th to 8th. So.
Okay, great, thank you.
I had similar ones. I said that the averages would decrease between 6th and 8th grade. My experience in 6th grade, there's a lot more hand-holding, and the work is a little bit less rigorous, a little less difficult than in 8th grade.
Right.
But as the kids go through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they have to get a little bit more independent. They have to do a little bit better job keeping up. And I also predicted that possibly there would be a dip between quarters 2 and 3. That always seems to be the time of year when kids just kind of oh, I got this, I can relax, instead of when the teachers are actually writing on.
Right.
I think that's something teachers see a lot in school. So thank you both for doing that. Thank you for taking some notes.
What I was going to have you do is write down, but both of you mentioned a bunch of them, so let's just talk about it rather than having you write it down, since we have a small group today. When you chose your fact, so over the course from 6th to 8th, Katie predicted that the averages would decrease, right?
Yeah, or at least that the 6th and 8th grade would be more extreme. Like either have them be 6th grade it goes down a lot, or 8th grade it goes down a lot, but 7th grade is probably like the average. I don't know.
Okay. So when you did that, what assumptions did you make about the students?
Just the fact that they're basically their ages and the fact that they're transitioning.
Typically in 6th grade, you would assume that what's happening at that age.
Well, I mean, they're definitely going through an
Transition
interesting
time.
time. Yes,
Yeah.
transition, but of all kinds. But I think for 6th grade and 8th grade,
Yeah.
they're joining a new building and all that. Just their age alone, like
It's a lot of
and their
transition.
maturity. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, and then Liz, for yours, the average is dipping by quarter 2 and 3.
Absolutely.
When you think about that change from quarter 2 and 3, why did you assume that would happen, or did you make any assumptions in there?
I think I'm making a couple assumptions that the kids are comfortable with what they're doing. And then also the teachers are kind of ramping up their instruction and what their expectations are of the kids.
Because they've been with them for 2 quarters now.
Exactly.
It's
And
time
maybe,
to-
start slow in September and kind of build up the intensity of their class. Meanwhile, the brains of the kids, they're kind of relaxing. They're in, think of like 2nd, 3rd quarter, that's like the groove. Everybody's in the groove. Whereas 1st quarter is all new stuff. 4th quarter is getting ready for the next step.
Right.
Quarter 2 and 3 are
Let's just go to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Let's just make it through. Awesome. Okay, so thank you for reporting. I think that those are great things to consider, and obviously it speaks to your experience in the classroom and what you see year to year. So whether or not we see those in the data is something. So let's just look for that once we can pull that up here. All right. So let's take a look at you reporting some of the assumptions. Okay. So here's the data. And I'm going to give you a minute just to look at it. And if you have any questions after 1 minute, I'll answer any questions. And then we're going to fill in the here's what, which is just like facts, what observations of what we're seeing. So I'm going to stop talking for about a minute. If I wait too long or cut you off, let me know.
last year's data.
This is, yeah, 16 to 17. Because it has, yep.
Okay.
Before, do you have any questions about the data? Anything I can clarify? The quarter 4 is not at the end of that 80% or below, just because kids would have already finished that accelerated class. So in quarter 3, they might get bumped out of that accelerated class, but quarter 4, they're not doing that.
Right.
The teacher will either recommend them or not for the next class, but they don't need to do that calculation. So this is just a snip, like I summarized all of the averages for each of the quarters based on an Excel sheet that Linda gave me. Okay. Anything I can answer? Okay. So I think Liz is ready to share some observations. So like for example, if you see a trend, if you see just factual information of something that stands out to you, we'll write like 5 to 7 up here on the here's what, and then we'll move forward through this.
I think, in all honesty, they're really, when we're talking about a 100-point scale, there really isn't that much of a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, every single value on that chart for the quarterly averages is between 88 and 90. So we're not, I mean, I don't even know if you could say that a dip of half a point is
Yeah,
even
0.26. Yeah.
Okay, so what if I say quarterly averages for grades 6 to 8 are all between 88 to 90, 90 and a half, and right, 90.6, so they're about 2 points. Is that all right?
Sure. Okay. And there's a range of 2 points.
Okay. else do I see? If it correlates with your prediction, or if there's anything else that you, like, maybe, I was looking at like the 2 to 3, but for 7th I see that 88.9 and 88.5, so it's almost like, this is the whole grade level,
Yeah.
so there is a, I mean, there's some kind of
There's
difference
some,
there.
yeah, I think for 6th and 7th grade, there does appear to be a quarter to 3 dip.
And that was what Liz was predicting.
And they did kind of recover.
Okay, so 6th and 7th grades have a quarter 2, you said?
Between 2 and 3.
2 to quarter 3 dip. So decrease of about how much?
On average, 0.04.
Okay. And I know it's not huge numbers because it's hundreds.
Like what is a point when we're talking about
Right,
hundreds
right.
of kids
Right.
taking 7 classes for
Right.
many assignments?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing that it's that close. One of the things that I noticed too is that in quarter 1, we were kind of right in the prediction that quarter 1, I was assuming that one of my predictions is that quarter 1 was going to be either the lowest or the highest. And even though for 6th grade, like 6th, 7th, and 8th is all 90 point something. So for 7th and 8th grade, quarter 1's the highest. But then for 6th grade, it's slightly lower than quarter 2. But I feel like in 6th grade, because it's a transition year, and this is me making an assumption.
That's okay.
I would also assume that in 6th grade, you have more of like the intro to the school,
Yes.
management, procedures,
Okay.
stuff like that. So maybe that's also why it's in the quarter 2. So
Okay.
And I
So
also see
hold
that.
on to that idea
Yes,
too,
yes.
because that's something we can include over here of
Yeah.
like the why and
Yeah.
the so what about this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just for, because I love that thinking, for now, what can I write for the first quarter, Katie? That would be a good summary of what you just said.
quarter 1 tends to be one of the highest numbers with all 3 grades, at least 90%, at least 90.03.
So quarter 1 tends to be highest quarter for 6 to 8, and although knowing that 6th grade has a little bit of a change, like a 0.07, but overall it's still high for 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Liz, you were saying something else.
I was going to say something that I think it will probably be an assumption. That'll probably go
Okay,
around the so what thing as well.
Okay.
I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
I do notice that for 6th and 8th grade on the second chart with the
Yeah.
80% or below,
Yeah.
there definitely is an increase as the year goes on.
Yeah.
Okay. 7th grade seems to stay the same, but when you talk 6th grade going from 0 kids to 4 kids,
Right.
then 80%, which they would
And those-
consider failing, and then 2 to 7 in
Yeah.
8th grade.
Very dramatic. Very dramatic. Yeah, right. So in 6th and 8th grade, 80% or below and accelerated increases as the year goes on. Okay. You have to write this down. So quarter. Below 80%. Increases from quarter 1 to quarter 3, right? Okay. Is there anything else you want to get down there? Yeah, I'm going to add 2, if this is right, that grade 7 is pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing or a bad thing. So 7,
Grade 6 they are.
they are,
There's a lot more, getting into those assumptions, there's a lot
Right.
more at play.
right, I agree. Okay, so 7, consistent, and consistent being within one person, 80% and below 80%. Okay, all right, does that kind of summarize our data? Yep. Anything else you want to add? Okay, all right, so the so what is really the, like, let's take a look at what we think. And this whole idea is to just look at the data for what it is, and then we start generating ideas about, what do we think about this? Why do we assume this is happening? And what other questions we have? And then here, what can we do about it? Maybe there's ideas that you have to fix it, questions, things like that. So, if there's anything that surprised you or that confirmed, we can put that here. So why don't we move on to the SOLA? I'll change my color. Blue or purple?
Purple.
All right, I like it.
The one that I already kind of shared was about sixth grade, so going from quarter one and quarter two, because it's consistently, quarter one is consistently a pretty high, like seventh grade and eighth grade, it was the highest in the 90s, but then quarter one, it was in the 90s for quarter one and quarter two before that dip in quarter three.
Right.
So my assumption would be that in sixth grade, because you're still elementary, but also still, you're going through a huge transition from elementary to middle school, switching classes and having different teachers and all that stuff, that my assumption would be that a lot of it is still review of procedures, classroom management, at least more of that, as if in like building community, becoming familiar with the school, just assuming that as opposed to more of the rigorous classroom content.
So is, maybe that's a question, like we're observing that the quarter averages tends to be higher for quarter six, or for quarter one for 6 to 8. How can I summarize that?
You want it as a question form?
No, it could be just like,
I think it's safe to, we can assume that, especially in sixth grade, most of the coursework at the beginning of the year is more either procedural or review. And I have heard that from teachers that that's what a lot of their quarter one grades are, is procedures and review.
okay, great. So coursework beginning of the year is review and procedures, and that's what we've heard this from teachers, similar, especially with you working in sixth grade. All right, great.
Another point about sixth grade is that is, and as far as connecting to the data a little bit, I know that in our district that's the first time kids actually get real grades that aren't standards based.
Okay,
Grades that are actually based on completing assignments.
okay.
And that for some kids is good and for some kids makes it tough on them. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with why that quarter one
For sixth grade.
is a little bit lower too, because they get the standards based grading in elementary school, so they don't have to finish assignments that they didn't even finish in class. They
Right.
have to make them one. Whereas they do in sixth grade.
Right, and they're learning that
And
as
that
they go.
affects the number.
Okay, so like real grades is part of the quarter one average for six. And then also six, the increase in quarter two is because of the getting used to what that looks like and getting used to the procedures and expectations. Is that okay? I think that sounds. What else? Is there anything else we should say?
This is definitely making a big assumption, but for seventh grade, if I just consider the ages, and by seventh grade, kids are more familiar, I would say, with the school and like social skills and all that stuff. They're going through the changes and transitions and everything, but I feel like they're content probably or more content with the actual their teachers and the routines by then. So if you look at quarter three and seventh grade, and that's not by far because there's not that significant of changes, but that's one of the lowest ones. Yeah, lowest for seventh. And then
Which was the lowest for seven?
lowest for seventh is quarter three,
Quarter three,
and it's
okay.
pretty close. I mean, eighth grade quarter four is very close to it as well,
Okay.
but it's one of the lowest. So I would assume that that's also students, like Liz said, there's a divot or there's a dip for quarter three when kids are kind of, you hit that wall almost.
I mean, they are very much at the middle of their high school, middle school
Yeah,
experience.
middle of middle
Oh,
school.
it really is the middle of the seventh grade year. So what is happening?
Third quarter of middle
Third
school.
quarter. Seventh grade or the middle of middle school. Oh, right, like even for the eighth grade overall, it goes from an 88.8 in the middle to an 89. So at least they're improving a little bit. It's not like they have senioritis in eighth grade. Maybe a few people do, but it's overall there. That's a good observation.
I think I'm wondering too, like the numbers of the quarter 80% below in accelerated classes for eighth grade too. I mean, when we talk about accelerated classes in eighth grade, we're talking about Regents credit-bearing classes, where the teacher is much more bound to a timeline and curriculum versus, accelerated math in sixth grade, which is really more like let's just try to get through as much as we can.
Right.
Um,
So what do you think
wondering
about
if
that?
that is just, the numbers are higher in 8th grade just because the classes aren't that much hardly,
Like the rigor is that much more.
accelerated classes are that much more accelerated than 8th grade. Which it should be, that's kind of the
Yeah,
point.
because 8th grade, for example, 8th grade science is now earth science, right? And that, I mean, that's really high school courses. So
Right.
that's,
Right.
Now, do
So-
we know if accelerated classes also includes language? Like the high school classes?
No, that was on a separate sheet.
Okay, so this is,
Unless there's an accelerated one for 8th grade.
I'm just curious, because like most
Yeah.
kids take it, but it's considered.
I don't think that was not included on here, but I can double check for next
Yeah,
meeting.
just curious.
6, I know was like the math and the science, and then 7 and 8 was that continued. I'm not sure what else was added on there, but I can find that out. The spreadsheet had it laid out by the content area too, so that might be something interesting for is like, what does that data show? So 8th grade accelerated, just for what you said before, 8th grade accelerated 80% or below, increases quarter 2 and 3. Numbers increased quarter 2 to quarter 3. So that really transitions us into the last one, which is the now what, like knowing all of this data, seeing all this data, kind of summarizing it, seeing patterns and asking questions about it. Now what do you need to see in order to have a better understanding of this, or even be able to share with the faculty or a larger committee about what we think needs to be done for student achievement, or if we just have more questions about this.
one question that I would have, or at least just something that I would want to see, is if you look at like the 80% low, the one on the right.
Yeah.
Because like Liz was saying, going from 6th, 7th to 8th, and it's just like the numbers at 8th are pretty overwhelming for
Right.
quarter 2 and quarter 3.
Right.
Clearly the rigor for 8th grade from quarter 1 to quarter 2 picked up quite a bit, but I'm wondering, like, if I saw the science curriculum at accelerated science 6th, 7th, and 8th, I kind of want to see, like, what is the difference in what they're doing and what's the progression, and then, like, same thing with, like, math or other accelerated classes. I would be interested in seeing that, just so you can see if there really is a huge, huge jump. Like, how much is review, what's the speed and the rigor and the workload.
Okay, so
Well, in 6th and 7th, sometimes they're trying to get through 2 years of curriculum.
In one,
in
yeah.
one, or a year and a half.
those years. Okay. So why don't I reach out to the science teachers and find out what that curriculum looks like from specifically quarter 1 to quarter 2 to see where that 8th grade number is coming from, just so I have that as a reminder. The jump in the number less than 80%.
And even, yeah, and even 6th grade, like, quarter 1 and quarter 2, 0. That's great that they're 0, but then 4, quarter 3. That seems like a big jump as
So
well.
maybe the same thing for 6th grade accelerated classes to take a look at what's happening from quarter 2 to quarter 3, and it seems like expectations of what you said earlier, Liz, like that drop in 6th grade over here, and then the same thing is not just one group of kids, it's also the honors kids, and
Right.
so that that to me, that like 90 to 88, that's one of the biggest decreases, and then over here the 0 to 4. So I think that's a really good question. So what is happening between quarter 2 to quarter 3?
I know you're writing, but did you sell a house?
I did,
That's
yeah.
wonderful news.
Thank you so much.
So where are you going now?
I don't know yet.
Okay,
Gotta figure it
that's
out.
crazy.
Yeah. I'm recording a video so real quick. No, you're fine, you're fine. I'm gonna keep going. It's all good. I know people like
Congrats.
that. Yes, Daniels, you're the best woman. Have a good day, man. Bye. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Okay.
The nicest guy in the school. I love it. Okay, sorry. All right. Is there anything else that I can add on here that I can collect before we meet next? So I'll talk to science teachers, look at the curriculum, try to bring that to the next thing, see if that's a trend that we can work at, or see how we can support, even like with PBIS, how they can support specifically the 6th graders going from 2nd to 3rd quarter. I guess one question I would have too is, are we having the meetings about with the whole grade level from once they come back from Christmas break, reviewing expectations as a whole grade level for quarter 2, quarter 3?
Momentum boost.
Yep.
I would be interested to just talk to some teachers, because I have heard some comments along the lines of, oh, okay, it's 3rd quarter,
Yeah.
no longer gonna accept late work, or it's third quarter, we don't do test makeouts anymore. And clearly the numbers are showing that the kids are not prepared for that release of responsibility. But, I mean, I as a teacher, I agree with that gradually,
release.
you know, that gradual release as the year
Yes.
goes on, but the numbers are showing that the kids are not handling it
Right.
as well as we would expect them
I agree. I think that's a really good point because it might not necessarily be the students changing a ton, it might be the teachers.
to.
So even talking to some teachers, I guess we could even ask a few teachers or send out a survey. Just depending on what we want to do.
Just to see how much of that actually is
The
policy,
students
the
versus
choice of the
teachers.
policy. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
you know, our teachers are not as vigilant about checking planners.
Right.
You know,
Right.
which they shouldn't be at the end of the year.
But also, what can our committee or what can PBIX do as a result of that? That supports right. Is there anything else that I should add there? I think that summarizes that pretty well. It's a nice review. Okay, so now that we have all that done, what I will do is I will work on getting some of this before our next meeting in like 3 weeks, and then we can kind of adjust it, maybe do a similar activity, but go through it and then see what else we need to make different changes in our school. So thank you both so much. Thank you for recording everything. Thank you for keeping track of the time.
Sure.
Any questions about next time? No? All right. Thank you.